Okay, so we are live, guys. Said we are live. All right, awesome. So I'll go again. So my name is Emmanuel Nebeli, and popularly known as Coco Codes. Coco Codes everywhere. Coco Codes global. So I literally love doing stuff like this, picking the minds of builders and founders and seeing their journey so far, what they are building and all of that. I'm actually an hackathonist and I do like hackathons quite a lot, work with developers a lot, and I am a product-led person, so I love talking about products. I love hearing the insight and the thought process of builders and the products they have built and what it is solving. So I'm so excited to be on this session and I'm picking the minds of Bernardo, but Triclops. I don't see Nada yet though. We hope he join us soon. So awesome. So you guys are the top J's in the space. Glad to be on here with you guys. So what next? So we would like to know a bit more about who wants to go first? We'd like to know a bit more about one of each of you guys. Like Bernardo, do you want to go first? Let us know a bit more about you. Tell us who you are apart from your products. Two things about you that we wouldn't normally know.
Yeah, thank you, Coco. You hear me well enough? Yeah, you hear me well? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. I
Oh,
can hear
okay,
you.
okay. So yeah, starting from the beginning, like I studied and I've always been interested in business and finance, specialized in data analytics, and then just pretty much self-taught in economics and research. Started out in crypto like in 2019, 2020. And most of my career has been like in TradFi, but then I've also always done like on-chain data on the side. And then I started with what I'm doing right now, token side, like last summer, just on staking, trying to analyze the risks there, some simulations around the APYs of different LSTs. But then restaking came along, which is what we're going to talk about. And I started to focus on that last October, and ended up quitting my job end of December to just focus on this full time and nomad. I'm from Portugal, got out of Portugal to do this, and I think it was a good decision. I think it's been when I started there were almost no information available whatsoever, just Eigen Layer white paper, and that was it. So the space has really developed last 6 months. And yeah, that's the high level. So I guess we'll get more into this, but I basically analyze AVS risk, meaning services built on top of EigenLayer. I analyze those risks at an infrastructure level and try to derive like then LRT risk, risks upon that, like L1 as well, Ethereum, EigenLayer. Yes, maybe I'll stop there.
Wow. That's like inspiring, like totally inspiring. Like your story, your journey, what led to this. Like it is actually inspiring. You having to even leave Portugal, like you having to leave your country just because of this. And also, you mentioned something. You mentioned something. I'm trying to pick it up. You have to leave Portugal, and you also
Quit
quit
my
your
job.
job.
Yeah.
Damn. That's inspiring. Like because at that point when you're quitting your job, you literally do not know the future of what the goal you're pursuing. You do not know how it will turn out. But there is what I just admire about founders. There's always this strong conviction. There's always this strong conviction that sets you guys apart. There's just this strong conviction that you have and you follow through with it. So that is really admirable, Bernard. I'm very
Thank
certain
you.
that others are learning from that. Very admirable. Very admirable. Okay. So Web2 clubs, can we hear from you, please? Like a bit about you. Or is Web3 clubs, are you there? Okay. Or all right. So Gado, I believe Gado will be joining us soon, Sha. So because we would love to hear from him too. So Bernardo, token sites. So before this session, I've been I've been doing a lot of reading up and checking a lot about it and token science again layer. From my understanding, just like taking back to Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin was too rigid. It focused only on transaction. Ethereum looked at the technology and it saw that it is beautiful. It should not just focus on transaction. Developers should be able to build on it. So, from my understanding of Eigen Layer, fine, it is focused on establishing different POS, proof of stakes, but now it also allows for AVS, which by developers can actually build on that layer, from my understanding. So I would like you to give let's hear from the you first hand. Let's hear from you first hand a bit more about token sites, the journey, how it started, the need for it.
Yes, sure. So what you said is correct, and this is all kind of a new thing that didn't happen in staking or liquid staking. We have now services built on top of staking, and this has been enabled by Eigen Layer, which kind of borrows the decentralized trust from the Ethereum L1 through by providing a pooled restaking pool, where services AVSs can use that security to, they don't need to bootstrap their own network, they don't need to launch a volatile token, they don't need to incentivize users to stake and stake and stake to be sufficiently secure. Um, and so kind of like, since is like a new concept of pooled security, and services are built on top of it, like these services, if one is faulty, if one is exploited, hacked, or something, or a programming bug kind of happens, it can like happen like a risk cascading effect onto to the other services, and now also on top of and now, they're like LRTs, liquid restaking tokens, liquid representations of a restaked position. And so this is kind of a new interdependent pooled security ecosystem that didn't happen, anywhere in Ethereum, anywhere in staking, anywhere. And so the different risk and data analytics providers in crypto in general were not addressing this. This was a new thing, new product, new market. And so I recognized this kind of early. I was acquainted with some people at Eigen Layer that told me a little bit about this early on, and I thought I could do something about it. And then I just tried. It seemed to go well. And so your original question was why? Oh, the need. Yeah. So there was a need for this, for a new incumbents weren't addressing this, so I just thought startups are going to try to address this, and so I just started to do it, and I believed in it so much and believed in my capacity to build it that I ended up just leaving the boring 9 to 5 job to do it, and in fact 6 months in. I'm more convinced than ever that this service and the major players like competitors of mine, myself, and stuff will find a very big market, because and we're finding product market fit, because AVSs, LRTs, Eigen Layer itself, even VCs and operators and a bunch are looking to understand these risks because they're novel. So yeah, there's a big need, I think.
Yeah, it's actually like amazing, like beautiful, because at the end of the day, when it comes to Web3 and a lot of a vital part that is very, very important is safety, right? Safety, security, right? So it's actually like amazing. It's amazing that you took a huge decision to focus on token sites, to build it out to where it is today, and there is no regrets. Like there's no regrets. It's amazing because now, from what I'm even saying, token sites plays a vital and pivotal role with Eigen Layer. Without that token site, without the liquidity risk taking, I think the risk factor is kind of high. Without it,
Yeah.
the risk factor is kind of high. Exactly. Because yes,
Yeah,
so from my reading, the risk factor is kind of high with that. So it plays a vital role. And man, that is a success in itself. That is a success in itself. So that's amazing, amazing. If Nada was here, I would dive deep into Eigen Layer. I don't know
yeah,
when he's going to join us. I'm looking forward to him
yeah.
joining us.
It should be soon, like 10 minutes or something. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then, so I want to also ask, what's your journey so far with Token Site? Like, have there been times whereby you face some struggles to for the infrastructure aspect of it, it's working, or any challenges that you literally wanted to give up, or you wanted to just like, ah, let's just do something else, or let me just try something else. Have there been times you faced that, and how did you overcome these struggles or these challenges so others can learn from you?
Okay. No, I never thought about quitting on it or anything. I was even offered like positions at some companies in risk-taking, and I believed in it, so I said no. It's okay for now. So I um, like struggles. It's always a little hard to find ways to differentiate in crypto. People follow the herd a lot. There's a lot of trends. People follow that a lot. So sometimes it's hard to resist. It's hard to, but it's hard in any business to try to structure your product appropriately so that you kind of find product market fit and your kind of clients or partners think there's a real value in it and don't want to tell you just that. It's kind of also hard to tell, like, if people are just saying there's value because they want to be kind, or is there real value and they want to really
Hmm.
use it or pay, or so that's always kind of hard as well. So you just try to talk or ask very honestly, like, what do you really think? Give me some negative feedback here. It's okay, whatever. um,
Hmm.
uh, so, and it's, since a new space, also, like, it's a little hard to, but I like that personally, but it's still a little hard to know when to do X or Y. You're not sure if you're doing the right thing, but you just try to always fall back to first principles and think from and think from first principles again, if you are like deviating from where you should be going, and just getting caught up in trends and all this kind of stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, so I guess what I said is applicable to any business, but yeah, in crypto also there's like, crypto is never ending. You could just I mean, you can build on one thing, go down 50 rabbit holes, and then just get lost or be desperate or something. So it's a little hard on that stuff too. Um, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So for those listening in, what I got from what Bernardo said just now is that as someone building out your products or a founder, it's kind of hard to guide your focus. It's kind of a bit hard to guide your focus. You might get distracted at some point in time. But the truth is that it always helps. It always helps to build in public. It always helps to get feedbacks. It always helps to reiterate. Over planning can be an overkey. When you build in public, when your product is community led, you get feedback, you get better at it. You should ensure that you have a roadmap. You should ensure that you have something guiding you, that you can always look at your original blueprints, your original plan. Am I deviating from this? The path I'm taking, the steps I'm taking, are they really in line? Are they aligning with my product goals? So if you are able to answer those questions concretely, you should know that okay, you are still in line. So you just have to like stay focused and keep on going. So that's what I got from
Yep.
Bernardo, and I hope you guys also learned from that. Yeah, awesome, beautiful
Yeah.
stuff, beautiful stuff.
And it's also like another thing I just remembered. It's always also a little hard to, like, it's just me doing this right now on token sites, so I can't do 50 things at once.
Mhm.
So it's always also hard to know when to say no to things that you shouldn't focus right now, and it's tempting at times, and these people are know what they're doing. It would be cool to partner or have a call or something, but you need to know what like three or four things you want to you need to tackle, that are most important, and say no to the things that there are not those three or four. Yeah, so knowing when to say no, I've heard like Steve Jobs and these people saying this, but now I know what they're saying. Yeah.
Okay. So, what will be your, how do I put it? What would be your advice for anyone trying to? First of all, I just want to give a feedback to what you are doing. I just want to say that what you are doing, it's very awesome because why? It is actually like a need. It is not a want. It is always good to do anyone can do a product, but is your product a need? It could be a want. It could be nice to have, but
Yeah.
is it a need? So I just want to say that yes, your product is actually a need, and it's actually like speaking for itself. So that was like amazing. First off, amazing. So I just want to like ask, like, how did you get to meet with Nada? Like, how did Token Site and Eigen Layer combine together?
Yeah. Yeah, so you must have heard I was actually just last month, literally in Zanzalu, in Zanzibar, an event I was there, helped organize. And Zanzalu was a spin off of an event called Zuzalu that happened in Montenegro last year. Vitalik, started it. And there, I went there and met a lot of interesting people. And one of them was Jessie, the ecosystem lead at Eigen Layer now. At the time at the time she wasn't, but she works there now. And I started talking with her more about this once she started on Eigen Layer, like in October or November last year. And she, I did some models research and showed her, and then got more acquainted with more people at Eigen Layer, risk-taking space, which was very small at the time. And so one thing led to another, and I was introduced to Nather in some way, and then I went to ECC just a couple weeks ago or something in Brussels, and I met him there as well. And he's a cool guy, super energetic, smart. He should be arriving soon, so you should go to event if you want advice on this stuff. It's like you should just do interesting things. Your network expands from there. You go to events, gets better. You don't need maybe one thing that that maybe will surprise you, like to start this, and it's going all right. I just closed my first. I just did the first partnership, paid partnership that you may see on Twitter. And to start this, I just put in like hundreds of dollars. So you just need to really work hard. You don't need that much money. You don't need to raise 20 million to start. I just pay for a couple subscriptions, and I sometimes and semi jokingly I say that ChatGPT is my co-founder. So you should just try that. So you should just try that, and you can do more than you think by your own. Yeah.
That's beautiful. It literally resonates with my perspective of things. Like over planning can be an overkill. You don't need so much. You just need to get started, right? Like, I mean, look at $100. And some people like you need to get funding of $20,000, $10,000, or $50,000 to start something. You don't. All you have to do, all you need is a good goal, a good product that is actually a need, a good product that has potential to go mainstream, a good product that has the potential to be accepted by the markets. And all you have to do is just push it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And also for those listening in, I just want you all to understand that this is why community events are very, very important. Bernardo met Gado and get to collaborate more with him through an event at Brussels. Event does a lot because you get to meet this person personally, individually, face to face, and get to talk. So it's very, very vital that you should not.
Yeah.
You should take events very important. Exactly. So that's amazing. That's amazing.
Just one thing.
Also, Okay.
Sorry, just one thing. Neither is trying to get in. I sent him my link. I don't know if you need to admit him or something. Can you
Okay.
check that?
Okay. Let
He
me.
says he's backstage.
Hey,
Oh,
there we
here he
go.
is. Hey, Neither. Good to see
Hey,
you, man. Thanks for
Nader.
coming.
Hey, how's it going? Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks, man, for coming.
It's so nice to have you here, Nader. It's an honor to be on this show with yourself, Nader, and Bernardo. Um, Honestly, I'm a voice that needs to be heard, and through shows like this, my voice is more heard, and I'm so excited to be talking and picking from powerful and great minds of you all, and I'm so excited about this. I have been discussing with Bernardo, getting to know more about his journey and how he started Token Sites and all of that. Bernardo has shared quite interesting insights, and also a lot of people have learned from it also. I asked him how you guys met each other and like started like working together, Token Sites and Eigen Layer. And he met you at the Brussels events and like shows the importance of events, actually like going to events. So Nada, myself, and the people listening would like to know a bit more about you. Like you, Neda, apart from your product.
Got it. Yeah. So yeah, me and Bernardo, yeah, we met finally, and that was actually very recently. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, excited to be here. So I appreciate you organizing this, inviting me, and everything like that. For me,
Absolutely.
I've been a developer for about 13 years, mainly focused on um, mobile development and cloud computing, really. And I really only got into the blockchain space about 3.5 years ago. And since then, I've been really all over the place, working in different uh, different teams, different technologies, starting with the Graph protocol, and then I've worked in both Celestia as well as Eigen Layer, doing data availability as well as like the AVS stuff that we're doing here at Eigen Layer. And previous to that, I was working with Aave and the Avara team, which is like Lens protocol and a bunch of other stuff. But self-taught developer, did not get a traditional education, and have always been just kind of interested and passionate about developer education. And developer relations is fun because you get to really continue building products and learning as well as educating as part of your job. So I still build and write a lot of code, and have launched a couple of products and companies even in the last couple of years, and sold one company during the time that I've been working in the blockchain space. But lately, I've been writing a little less code the last few months, but because I'm managing a team now, but still like to write code a lot. So
Well, that is it. At some point in time, you literally write less code because there's this form of stability. There's this form of points you get to, and you literally have to do a bit of more managing and writing the code itself, right? So awesome. Like I'm
I think we lost him.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't know you sold a company, Neither. That's cool.
Yeah, an AI company.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. The host just. Where are you calling from? Are you in the US?
Yeah, I'm in the U.S. Got back from Brussels last week, and I'm in Mississippi. So this is where my office is, and
Nice.
pretty much where I work from. What about you?
Nice. Just in Poland now, nomading just after Brussels, and I'm on standby to go to do a little Asia tour where I'll get the Thailand and the Token 2049 Singapore, all those events. Maybe I'll see you there, I guess.
What part of
Yeah,
Poland?
Warsaw capital,
Cool.
and it's really it's really cool, really cool. I mean, it's been a good decision to come here. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet the weather is nice right now, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you guess well. Yeah, it's the summers here are not very aggressive, so it's kind of smooth. I like it. Yeah, in Mississippi, that's southern U.S., right?
Yes,
Is
it's
it hot?
very warm here.
Yeah,
Hot.
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, exactly. Well, let me try to message Coco or something. Yeah, you can stay as long as you want. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything that is like
Nice.
going to take me away from here.
Yeah, you can stay as long as you want. It's okay.
I think there's a question.
Yeah, I don't have anything that is like
Yeah.
going to take me away from here.
Yeah, you can stay as long as you want. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything that is
Yeah. Hey, so I had a question for Nada.
Hey,
I go. Yeah. So, oh,
We can hear you. Yeah.
so I just
yeah.
wanted to ask, what are your opinions?
Oh boy. I think you're cutting off too. Um,
Effect or
what are you working on today?
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Hey guys,
Yeah,
yes,
no.
you're back now. Sorry, I think we got cut off earlier and we didn't hear your question. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
No worries. So my name is ONCHAIN. I'm community manager at three clubs. We have these clubs in the developer community based in Kenya. We have around 2,000 members in terms of community. So some of them are developers. We have blockchain enthusiasts. And yeah, so we're part of the initiative that put the ONCHAIN Safari together with Coco and other African developer communities. So we're streaming live right now. So such a pleasure to have you guys on. I know Bernardo, we met at Zanzalo. Nice to have you guys here. So yeah, Kofi has a question. One of the community members here, so I guess I'll have him get back to the question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let's not be back.
So sorry for that. So sorry. That was so unprofessional. So sorry.
No worries, no worries. Welcome back.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Question before the host takes over.
So, all right. So, Naja, I'm so inspired by your journey and everything you've done. You've tested a lot of waters, you've done a lot of things, you've dared in on a lot of things, and that's like just amazing. Like the experience you have so far is that's why I see you guys are the top G's, right? So I'm just so excited to be talking more about with you guys and also your products. So I was able to like get a bit more insight into with Bernardo about token site, but I want to get here from you also. Um, um, when you and Bernardo like got to know and go, join these two products together, token site and Eigen Layer. What did you see in token site that made you convinced that token site would be a good fit for Eigen Layer?
Well, just so you know, we're not like official partners or anything. We just share ideas between us.
Okay.
Yeah, but go ahead, Nate, if you want.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about really building in this, well, I guess just being a builder is like it's kind of permissionless. Like if you come up with a good idea, you can just basically run with it, and you don't have to ask anyone. And if you build something that's valuable, then people will take notice, and you'll have success. So I think that that's something just to kind of take note of, that a lot of people sometimes think that they need to have some type of buy-in to do anything, but sometimes you can just actually realize an idea and start building it and running with it. And if it has, you know, if it's a good idea and if you execute well, then people will notice and you'll end up having, more traction as long as you continue down that path.
That's amazing. That's totally amazing. So from looking into Eigen Layer and what it does, I was honestly like amazed at the thought process and all the structured strategy you guys are using for Eigen Layer. First off, I understand that Eigen Layer is basically for introducing. It's basically focused on proof of POS, different POS, right? Proof of stake, right? So, but it also add an extra layer whereby this ABS can actually build on it, right? Then, from what I also get, one thing that fascinated me about Eigen Layer is the aspect of the polling effect, and also the attributed effect. In other words, there's this ultimate safety for users. There's this ultimate safety for the customers. So that literally, I was fascinated by that. Right? Not to say much, let's hear from you firsthand. Tell us about Eigen Layer and the journey so far.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about Eigen Layer is that it's essentially like a new platform for building decentralized networks and proof of stake networks that just didn't really exist before. I think like if you look at a similar analogy, it would be kind of like how when Bitcoin and Litecoin and these original blockchains were around, you had to literally build a whole blockchain from the ground up to get any different functionality. You couldn't really modify or build on those blockchains. And then Ethereum and the EVM came around and you were able to essentially just write a smart contract and deploy and not have to build the blockchain from the ground up. I think you're now just kind of seeing that similar extensibility move beyond the execution environment. So like moving beyond the EVM or Solana VM or whatever, and you're able to inherit that security just like you would in a smart contract, but you can now build any proof of stake network. So if you wanted to build an Oracle or anything in the past, you typically had to build that from the ground up. Now you can essentially just extend the Ethereum security and build that. So it's just a lot easier, and it just opens the door for developers to experiment and build products and companies a lot easier.
Nether, I think just taking the side of the audience here a little bit, I think folks would really like to understand what kind of interesting AVSs they could build, and then on the upper level, what kind of dApps and like what's the utility on the dApp level to use these kinds of service? What kind of use cases do you see? Examples? How can folks build these things?
Yeah, so if you want to start building, we're trying to provide as much material as possible for people to kind of get started, not having to start from scratch, but have essentially like a reference implementation for their use case. What that means is that we're trying to bootstrap a lot of open source reference architectures for different products like bridges, oracles, stable coins, just all types of stuff. So we have now about 25 of those reference architectures that we're aware of, either built, some of them by our team, and then a lot of those by the community. And we have a repository called Awesome AVS that we're trying to document all of those. So if you go to Awesome AVS, you'll just see a lot of educational resources, but also a lot of code bases that you can fork and start building from. But I mean, if you ask like what can be built, it's really any protocol, any blockchain protocol that exists today can be rebuilt as an AVS or be built in a different way as an AVS. So oracles, file storage networks like Filecoin or Arweave can be built. You have sequencers, decentralized sequencers. You have a trusted execution environment. So a lot of people are talking about T's. You can build a trusted execution environment. You can build coprocessors, which are essentially a way to do more computationally heavy compute off-chain and then verify it on-chain. There's a lot of stuff happening in like the whole DPIN space. So proof of location, proof of diligence. So there's just really a very big design space. And if you're like wanting to build a blockchain protocol, this is probably one of the main like starting points now, it seems. So like we talked to a lot of teams that were going to build a protocol from scratch, and when they learn about Eigen Layer, they immediately pivot to building on Eigen Layer because it's just a lot easier.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed, and I've talked to, there's this AVS called Lagrange, and I've talked with Ismael a bunch in ECC, and one thing he presented on and told me, like most of you guys in the audience know about on-chain data, Dune Analytics, and all these things. If you kind of run a query right now in Dune Analytics, it takes a long time. Sometimes it doesn't even work, very complex. And so Lagrange has created like AVS, a zero-knowledge coprocessor AVS, which kind of like complex wording, but essentially enables you to query very easily cross-chain data across a bunch of chains very safely, very quickly. They do kind of a hyper parallel approach and then validate it through zero-knowledge proofs. And so that's once Dune or a competitor starts using an AVS like Lagrange, maybe, and if Dune doesn't innovate very much, maybe there's a serious competitor there, and we will be able to do on-chain data much more efficiently. Ismael gave the example of querying over like types of NFTs across a bunch of chains, and you could do that very easily. Can kind of query how many users you've had in that period of time in a bunch of different chains. All this kind of intrinsic complex data that would otherwise be very complicated to reach. You can do that with the ZK proofs right now with Lagrange. So that's just another example. So let's see, you guys just ask questions. Coco Codes has dropped off again, so just ask questions, I can take over. Maybe, do you want to just explain, maybe very simply, Nader, like I in the beginning, when you were here, I was trying to say like how Eigen Layer innovated in the sense that it kind of grabbed the decentralized trust from Ethereum L1, from the staking pool there, and kind of created like a pooled security model on Eigen Layer through decentralized trust. So like these LSTs represent these decentralized units, and so you restake that, and you get a restaked pool of trust and security. I don't know, maybe that's good enough, but if you want to expand on that.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a question I wanted to ask, because while looking through Eigen Layer and the documentations, I saw the part whereby it said without the token, the LRTs, which is the liquidity tokens, the risk factor will be high. Can you give more insight into that? Neda, you're still muted.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on mute. Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
So it stated that without the LRTs, like this has been able to, the liquidity restaking, the risk factor would be high, the AVS.
Are you asking like how the LRTs
reduces the risk?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
How do the LRTs like what is the major function? How does it reduce the risk?
Oh, okay, I got it. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's reducing like risk per se. It's more that it's like you have these people who have been staking ETH forever. You know, ever since that proof of stake was introduced, you've had people staking ETH, and they've been doing this anyway. You know, so it's not like a new thing for the staking itself. But what they can now do with Eigen Layer is say, okay, I'm already earning like a 3% or 5% yield on staking ETH. I've been doing this forever. I'm happy with that. But now I can actually essentially like take that and also secure other services. and potentially earn yield or rewards based on what those services are doing. So if I can essentially opt in without removing my existing yield, I don't really have the only like risk that you're now introducing is like you're now saying I am opting into new slashing mechanisms for these new services. So if there was something that you opted into that was then slashed, then that would be additional risk. But in terms of the like services, they can now more easily access all of this liquidity and this security without asking the person with all of this ETH or whatever to buy into the opportunity cost that would essentially take them away from their more comfortable position of holding ETH into a more like volatile position of participating in a brand new ecosystem.
Okay,
I think that's the succinct way of like framing it, maybe.
Can I ask
yeah.
this? Actually, yeah, just from my vantage point, actually, I wanted to ask you this. From as Eigen Layer built or researched like heavily, like how to calculate like compounded risk of a cascading effect happening on AVSs, or not that much. And how do you think about that? Like compound, if one AVS kind of gets slashed or programming a bug gets exploited, kind of happens. It can cascade a little bit, especially without attributable security. But have you thought about that? Eigen Layer is doing anything on that front?
Well, first of all, like the final details of slashing haven't really been released yet, and it's something that is of like security and I would just say like security as a general concept and also a implementation is like the very highest priority for everyone at Eigen Layer. So it's something that is still being finalized. And I think once slashing has been fully completed and disclosed and audited for the public to kind of like scrutinize, then we'll have more information about how that will look like in practice. But it's something that has been, thought about since day one, to the best of my knowledge, 3 years or so ago when Eigen Layer was first like proposed. So, but we don't have those exact details out yet until slashing is kind of introduced. But we do have a nice risk FAQ for anyone like curious. You can just go to the Eigen Layer docs. There's a risk FAQ that talks about a lot of frequently asked questions.
Yeah, I actually did go through the FAQs, and it gave me a lot of insight to what you guys are doing. So for those that are listening, if I'm correct, basically Eigen Layer helps for well, the crypto world, the Web3 world is massively changing with time. So different proof of stake needs to come up. So Eigen Layer helps with you to create different proof of stake seamlessly without having to do anything from the ground up, or without having to create a new blockchain. Then also, just like these layer 2s inherit from the security of Ethereum, these AVS or builders building on Eigen Layer, what security are they inheriting? Does Eigen Layer have its own standalone security?
I guess could you repeat the question just so I can understand the final?
Okay, so just like layer 2s, we inherit from Ethereum security. Then Eigen Layer, AVS can build on it. So what security are they inheriting from? Does Eigen Layer has its own standalone security?
Okay, got it. Yeah, I mean, the security for an Eigen Layer developer is inherited from the people that have staked into the Eigen Layer platform. And essentially, at the moment, it's ETH and Eigen. So if someone holds Eigen token, they can stake and essentially secure different products in different AVSs. If they hold ETH or if they're staking ETH somewhere, they can restake it into to Eigen Layer. So the security right now comes from Eigen and also ETH, but we're going to be opening the door to additional tokens as well in the near future.
Yeah, I actually saw that part. I actually saw that part on the fact about the security. That okay, like you're holding Edge and you're holding the Eigen native token, but at first more value is on the Edge side. Then after some time, then the native token will get more value.
That's
Yeah,
that's that's correct. Yep.
yeah. So I actually saw that part. That's beautiful also. So it's basically like a structured flow, right? Then also I would like to also ask, and also for those that are listening, Neda, what has been the journey so far for Eigen Layer, and also like the struggles, also like getting it being accepted by the market.
Um, I mean, I've only been here for about 6 months or so, so I can only speak to like the experience that I've had so far.
Okay.
But I mean, the struggles. I mean, it's kind of like growing pains of a startup that's rapidly growing. All of that typical, growth phase that you have. It's
Yeah.
you know, we're now split between the Eigen Foundation and Eigen Labs, and that was introduced a few months ago. So the Eigen Foundation is kind of like coming together, and that's a new thing for us to deal with. We're also trying to make it as easy as possible for developers to build AVSs, and we have a lot of work to do on documentation and developer
Okay.
support. We have a lot of inbound, so we have hundreds of group chats that we're keeping up with, and we want to make sure everyone's happy, and that's challenging. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, nothing like out of the ordinary. I feel like very fortunate for us to be working on this because I think it's a big deal and it's just really, really fun to work on. So I can't really complain too much. But it's the same things you might deal with in any startup. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Then one other question I have is trying to get it straight. Um, so the aspect of attributed security, does that mean that um even if there is actually a vulnerability or hack into this your solution, users funds or assets are still safe?
Are you asking like if
Like the
someone?
attributed security, like um when I was like looking through the facts, I just felt like that was fascinating, but I would like want to like hear from you more. How does that attributed security work?
I mean, I guess it's essentially the whole like idea of being able to like build out any product and essentially inherit that security in a new fashion that just wasn't really possible before. Again, like if you wanted to build out an Oracle in the past, you had to bootstrap stakers, you had to bootstrap a token, you had to bootstrap the network participants, which we call operators, which would be people like operating the protocol, and then the security would come from the value of the token, which is very hard to kind of like get up and running, right? Because you have to actually go through the whole legal process of launching a token and getting people to buy it and all of that and then use it. So it's quite a bit of work. So the attributable security kind of is essentially a way to um, bypass a lot of that additional work. You can still have a
Okay.
token and you can still use it and it can still have value, but you don't have to worry about the whole setting up all of the different network participants because the network participants are already kind of set up for you.
So
Can I
I
just
think
ask actually?
that's yeah. So before that, I think with that explanation, it just makes it so clear, right? It just makes it so clear. So you don't have to necessarily over worry about your token value based on the attributed security and of it. So I think that's amazing, amazing. Yeah, Bernardo, you can say.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
gonna ask like yeah, like a question to Nether. Is like any any like interesting AVS ideas you'd like to see built that are not being built right now. I think that would be interesting for our builders here.
Yeah, and I think maybe specifically for the attributable security stuff, you might be mentioning like the fact that if you do have like a slashing incident or something like that, that the proper parties that are, I would say, you know, the people that are running the software are making the mistake or whatever, or the people who essentially get slashed, and the people who had some negative consequence from that are the people who get compensated.
Yeah, that's interesting. I actually maybe once I expand the team or something, I was thinking of trying to build like an AVS that accounts for for the slashing risk as it happens, and so that therefore like kind of validates other AVSs in this way. So maybe let's see how it goes. I think Tarun from Gauntlet has said a little bit. He was thinking of doing something like that, but they haven't done it. Maybe I see utility on that, and I've thought about that. Yeah. Web3 Clubs, if you guys have any question. What do you see like the biggest challenge? The two like just
I think
two
questions on the chat. Maybe just keep an eye on that.
What do you see like the biggest? Yeah, maybe let me just ask then. I was trying to ask like, what do you see like the two biggest challenges and two biggest opportunities of Eigen Layer? Like, what are you optimistic, or you think, or more nervous about?
So I have to drop after this question because it's at the hour. I have to jump on another meeting. But yeah, I mean, the biggest opportunities I think right now, well, I feel like the app layer is like really becoming more of a focus. And I think like with all of these different products that people have built on Eigen Layer, there's like a really big opportunity to leverage all of these new features and services that you're going to start seeing coming online. Because like we already have about a dozen or 2 dozen AVSs either already on mainnet or soon to be on mainnet, but we don't really have like a strong ecosystem of apps quite yet. We're starting to see some people start building there, but I think like if you want to consider taking a different approach instead of building a new piece of infrastructure, kind of leveraging all the infrastructure and finding new interesting use cases that will essentially bring new user experiences that maybe weren't possible before to the app layer. That's a big opportunity, I think. But also looking at the different products that have already found product market fit that can maybe more easily be built as AVSs, or that can be built as an AVS that in the traditional Web2 world were not verifiable. Different databases and stuff, because people use all that stuff, and you know that people want, and it has product market fit. So it's less of a risk and more of a, I'm going to take this idea that already has been proven and I'm going to maybe make it a little better.
Interesting. Yeah. Thanks for that, and thanks for joining. Then no problem. I think we all appreciated like you coming in the audience. The folks were really ecstatic to have someone from Eigen Layer. So here you are.
Well, yeah. Sorry I had to jump off early, but really, happy to be here and glad to be here. And yeah, I mean, if there's one more question, I can take it before I jump. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you guys just type it out or ask.
Yeah, I think
we don't hear you well, mate.
All right, just one. All right, so we have Dennis here. I think Dennis has your question.
Hey, how's it going? How are you?
I'm good. So I have a question in regards to running operators on Eigen. So we've been actually doing it on Holeski as part of our team here. And we're actually planning on opting in into one of the AVSs created by Aligned Layer. So unfortunately, the team at Align, they have they have to whitelist you. And we were trying to find out some of the evaluation criteria that will enable us to become an operator on their service. So, in your opinion, what's like the best service or cloud service we can use to run our operator on, and what other criteria can help us become, solid operators on Eigen?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we have a lot of people running their own infrastructure locally. We have people that are using kind of different on-prem service providers that are like a cross between cloud and running it yourself. And then you have the actual cloud providers like AWS, GCP. I don't think you can really go wrong anywhere. I mean, it might be the most simple thing is to use DigitalOcean or GCP to kind of get up and running quickly. So if you want to run an operator, for the most part, at least for most of the operators that I'm aware of, it should be essentially a permissionless process. I'm not sure specifically what's going with the process with the line layer, but I would say connect with their team and if there's some allow listing process that needs to go through there. But I mean, like I think what people would like to see is some type of SLA and dashboard that just shows the reliability of you running the operator for them to kind of look at. Because if you can say I've been running this service for like a month with 100% uptime, then that's pretty great and might be a good metric. So I think maybe having like information that's easily accessible around the reliability of the service would be probably one way to stand out.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much, Neda, for making time for this. We're so grateful. And sorry for the hiccups.
No worries. It happens. Yeah, happy to
Yeah.
be here. Happy to do it again in the future. So let's definitely stay in touch.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Talk soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey.
So my phone just decided to do this to me.